Hey guys, welcome back. Today I've got this Toror lawnmower you just saw roll into the shop here. I've done some work on this machine already, but the biggest problem that it has is that one of the engine bolts securing it to the body is broken right inside the engine. So in today's video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step video on this. I will remove the engine from the machine and then attempt to remove or drill out that bolt. So I will first tip the machine over. And if you look underneath here, the bolt that goes right here is broken right in the engine. So the machine was brought in this condition here. First thing I need to do is remove the blade and then try to remove the other two bolts here without breaking them inside the engine. Now before doing this, I will disconnect the spark plug and put the cap far away from the tip of the plug. So you'll need a 5/8 wrench or socket here. So because one bolt is already broken in the engine, I will not attempt to remove the other two with the impact. I will do it by hand easily to make sure I can properly remove them. Okay, so that came off pretty good. I mean, it's loosened quite well. And so is this one. Now at this point, I can use the impact to really get these bolts out quickly. And now what I'm going to do is remove the stop cable. And I'll get the starter rope out of this holder. And I'll drain all the gas out of it. And I'll also drain all the oil out of it too. Here's a look at that bolt right here. And it's not sticking out the other end either. So it's probably down halfway. This one doesn't look like it will be easy to remove. If it won't come out after I've drilled it and tried to extract it, I will just drill a 5/16 hole right through and then put a bolt and a nut. So what I'll do here is punch a hole right in the center. And somebody told me to get some drift punches, which I haven't yet, but I should, because that would help you to center it when you go to start your starter hole. I'm going to use some cutting oil here, and I am using one of my good Walter bits. That bolt is quite deep in there. Okay, we've made it through. So before I try to extract the rest of the bolt that's in there, I'm just going to heat it up a bit with some matte gas to try to make it easier to get it out. Now this may not work, but I'm going to try not to break my extractor. No, that will not work. So I'm going to have to go with the option of drilling a 5/16 hole here and putting a nut and bolt. And let's see how a 5/16 bolt fits in there. It fits in perfectly. So I've got this problem solved. Now there's another problem with this machine. This pulley here needs to be replaced. It's also the blade adapter, and it is seized on the engine. So I'm going to show you how to remove that. Here's how I'm going to remove that stuck adapter. I'm going to grab a 5/16 bolt by about 4 inches, my 2-jaw puller, and make sure you have your safety glasses for this. So I'll insert the bolt, and you want the bolt to be sticking up from your adapter so that when you start to get it off, there's room for the adapter to get off. I'm just going to start it up a bit. And because it's seized, I will use my map torch and heat up the exterior of the adapter. There we go. So that was a mixture of soap and water here that I sprayed underneath when I was heating it up, and that was to keep the crank seal cool. I didn't want it to burn. Now that's super hot, but there is one small part in here that I need to remove, and I'll show you that in a second here. Okay, so that little part here sometimes is hard to get out, and it's that little spacer inside here. It's got to come out one way, and sometimes it's hard to line it up. There we go. So you can see it's kind of flat on the one side here, and that makes it easier to slide through the adapter. If you reinstall a new adapter without this, what will happen is your engine won't be able to turn because the adapter will be basically butting against the sump of your engine right here, and then you're going to wonder, why isn't this engine turning over? Well, it's because of this little adapter, and it is sold separately from the adapter itself. Now you can buy this adapter here from Stens, part number 400-320. The Toror part number is 1063987. It's much cheaper from Stens, and it works just as well. And I'll put all those part numbers in the video description as well. If you are local and you're in Canada or Ontario, I can ship this out to you. Now what you do with the small spacer here is you put it right inside your new adapter. And you may have to do it once or twice because, like I said, they're a bit of a pain. So you want to get the flat side here lined up with the wall, and you want it to go right to the bottom. What you need to do now is make sure that it's flat at the bottom, just like that. And before putting it on the crankshaft here, I will put some anti-seize. This is a definite must to have when you put a blade adapter on a lawnmower. It's going to save you or the next guy a lot of aggravation. Now the key is built in to the adapter here, as you can see, so you want to line it up to the keyway on the shaft, which is right here. So I'm just going to go like this. Now see what I meant with the spacer? It keeps the adapter from hitting the engine sump right here. But what I'll do is I'll take it off for now anyway and put it back on once I've got the engine bolted to the machine. Okay, so I'm going to put the engine back on the machine here. Okay, so what I do here when I'm putting an engine on is I flip it while I hold the engine. And what I do is I try to get one bolt started. And now I'm going to put my bolt in the hole that I drilled out. Okay, now let's get the adapter back on again. Now make sure you don't have anti-seize on your belt. And I like to put the belt on the adapter before I put it on. Okay, let's get the stop cable rehooked. Get the spark plug boot back on and get the pull cord in this loop here. And I must not forget to put the oil back in. I'm putting new oil. You can use 1030 or SAE 30 for push lawnmowers. Alright, that's great, man. It all works good. The drive works as well. It's really powerful now, the drive. What happens over time is the pulley here kind of gets worn out. If you put your finger in it, you can feel a ridge and your belt will slip on the pulley, even if your belt's good. So it's all part of the blade adapter as well. And for the bolt, it worked out well. I've got the nut on the other side. Right here, I put a lock nut here, and the other two bolts were good. They threaded right in the engine. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully the video has helped you, and make sure you're subscribed.